I pretty much breathe vampire content, so giving Avatar: The Last Airbender, but dragons. Actually, the flesh-eating giant could be the girl boss. Hey everyone, I'm Els. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I went book shopping. We went to this really cool place called the Monster Bookshop, and they were doing a crazy sale, and however many books you can fit into a box you could get for £15, and however many you could fit into 2 of these boxes would be £25. So I paid for 2 boxes and I got 49 books. So I'm gonna talk to you guys about my book haul and hopefully it's somewhat entertaining. Here are the 2 boxes for size reference. Ta-da! Woo, boxes. Anyways, I'm gonna start off by talking about this vampire series. So, by coincidence, I found the first 2 books in this series together, and then while looking through all the other book boxes, I found a lot more, and I love vampires, and these books worked out to be around 50p each. So I got a lot of them. I've got 8 altogether, and I think there are 12 in the main series, so there are a couple missing here and there, but I've got most of the series now, so I'm definitely going to binge read a new vampire thing, because yeah, I pretty much breathe vampire content, so I will get through this very quickly and try and find the ebooks for the last couple that I don't have. I've got a couple more series to go through, and then I'll move on to standalones, and then I'll do that by genre. Anyways, I found the entirety of a fantasy trilogy and a prequel. So obviously I snatched that right up. It's the Black Magician Trilogy by Trudy Canavan. So that should be fun. If I really want to I feel like if I had like a long weekend or a week doing something and I want to feel a certain way, this will be my go-to read. Next, I've got Eclipse and New Moon. I will not be buying Breaking Dawn because that sounds awful and it would ruin Jacob's character for me. Anyways, I've never properly read Twilight before. I read the first couple of chapters of New Moon when I was 13 and I thought, oh, that's cool, vampires. Anyway, let's go back to my other vampire series that I love because it's quirky and underground. These 4 books are from different series, but I know for certain that they are part of a series, so I'm going to put them kind of in between the series and standalone sections of this video, so it's kind of like an in the middle, integrating different parts of my video. Coolness. So, first one is Peter Pan in Scarlet, and it is the canonical sequel to Jane Barrie's Peter Pan, so that's quite interesting. And yeah, it sounds like fun. Pirates, flying people, fairies, very much a vibe. This one, One of Us is Lying. I've known about it since it came out, but it's not my typical genre. It's very, very popular, and it's been popular since it came out. And it's now being turned into a Netflix series, and guess what? This doesn't have a sticker on it. I always get so excited when books that are being adapted into Netflix series don't have the sticker that you can't remove, because such a pet peeve. I know some people can relate to that. Next we've got The School for Good and Evil, and this I think is a fairly wholesome kind of middle grade to young adult in between stage series, so that sounds good. I think my sister's read it and she liked it, so good vibes. And last one in this mini section is Scions of Shannara, which is volume 1 of the Heritage of Shannara, and yeah, I've been wanting to read this series and I feel like this would be a good starting point. Now I'm gonna go through the classics section and dropping them. Going through the section of books that I know for a fact are classics. Because obviously I haven't read any of these books that I've bought. I don't know for certain what categories they go into. Probably should have researched that, but I'm too excited to get into this video, so I don't know, if you learn anything cool about these books, please let me know. So first one on here is this really, really cute edition of Black Beauty. It's like a little notebook, and yeah, it's just got lots of different things. It's the entirety of the book, but it's amidst different illustrations and so on. So it's just like, oh, that's so cute. Such a vibe. Then I've got Ulysses by James Joyce, and I thought I'd get it because old book vibes. I love them. Such an energy that I get from old books, and I absolutely love them. It's so much more, I don't know how to describe it, it's just a feeling you get with old books. Now we've got Golden Age detective stories. I have read Sherlock Holmes, so here are some other books from around that time that I might find interesting. Now we've got Middle Ages Myths and Legends, which I thought sounded really cool. And it's also not restricted to Arthurian legend, which they are cool, but I'm also curious as to some other kind of legends that came around at the same time and different myths and things. Then we've got Paris Echo by Sebastian Faulks. I read a couple of books by this author back when I was in sixth form, so they were quite cool. And this one, basically people having an identity crisis in Paris, like some of my favourite booktubers at the moment. They're both having an identity crisis in Paris, which is like, mood. That's what I'd do if I went to Paris, and constantly having an identity crisis. And last one is a bunch of plays by Aristophanes, and they're a different collection of plays to the one that I borrowed from the library and read before, so it'll be nice to read some more. And it's a Penguin classic, which is cool. Now we have my biggest pile. And these are a group of sci-fi fantasy old books. So they're all yellow, and I love the feeling of reading old paperback books. It's just so much fun. Anyway, enough gushing, let's talk about the books. I think I've got it in alphabetical order, so that's the order that I will be talking about these books in. This is... I was about to talk this book without saying the title. Shadowhunter by Will Baker. This is a science fiction book about a possible future of our world. I don't think it's very realistic, but it sounds really interesting. And animal sort of hybrids and high technology are starting to take over humanity, and that's the context of the story. And yeah, sounds interesting. From the blurb I don't get a lot of information about the specific plots, but you gauge a few ideas of themes and it sounds super interesting. This book's called Earth, and it's about a black hole falling into the Earth's core and everyone being like, well, realistically, to save the world, we need to let humans die because they killed the planet. Anyways, and that's the whole plot of the book. I mean, sounds funny to me. This is a fantasy one. I kind of partly got it because there's a giant butterfly on the cover and I thought it looked cool, and it's an orange spine penguin. Crazy getting this for like 50p. Anyways, it's a story about some guy who goes on a journey and learns about sorcery. This next book is A Difficulty with Dwarves, and it follows this magician who has a contagious curse and is also being followed by some really scary mythological kind of characters. This book is The Quest for Lost Heroes, and it is essentially what the title says. They go on a quest to save someone. Sounds like a lot of different D&D games. So if I ever have a break for a week or something from D&D and I'm missing it, I'll read this. This is Captive Universe. It's a vintage science fiction book, and the main character is getting some bad vibes from his environment. Not really into all the sacrificial killings and stuff. This is The Defender. It's another quest fantasy book where someone goes into this place called the Royal Palace of the Dragon. Already sounds great to me because dragons. And he faces off this magically created creature. Wizard of the Pigeons is about this wizard who can save the world. He also likes pigeons. This is Dragon Singer. To be honest, I have not really got an idea what this is about. I just got it because there's a cool dragon on the cover. So the main character likes dragons and music. And that's all I was able to grasp from the little blurb on the back. Next I've got The Colour of Magic. This was the first book written in Discworld series. I have been told that it's not the best place to start, but it's the first one I own, so I'll probably start here and then go on to the places where people say that I actually should start the series. This book, Dragonwing, is giving Avatar: The Last Airbender, but dragons, because it's about sorcerers and they have these 4 different elemental powers: sky, stone, fire and sea. Sound familiar? And then they vanished and the magic weakened, and this book, the first book, is about the air. Where did we... Sound familiar? Anyways, I'm gonna love this. This section I'm calling the big books. The only thing they have in common is that they're big. This book's called For the Most Beautiful, and it's a retelling of Margaret Atwood's retelling of the Odyssey, which is a retelling of Greek mythology. So meta, I know. I think it sounds cool, and it focuses on the women in the Trojan War, which I find super interesting. Like the story with the goddesses behind the Trojan War. I love that. That's probably my favourite bit of Greek mythology, to be fair, like with the apple. It's on the cover.
Hey, it's me, editing. I meant to say Ulysses, but I said Odyssey instead, so if there's inconsistency there, that's why.
This one's called Dream World, and I think, yeah, this will tide me over until I'm finally able to affordably purchase the books for Dead Man Wonderland. So this is about a theme park that has some dark secrets. If you're unfamiliar, Dead Man Wonderland is about this theme park that's also a prison for people that have magical powers and can manipulate blood in different ways. The magic's individual to each individual. I watched the first season of the anime, and then I found out it's a really long manga series and not to watch season 2, which, to be honest, I hear about most anime, to be honest. Oh yeah, don't watch season 2, just read on the manga. So yeah, I'm in the process of trying to find it affordably and in English because I don't speak German or Japanese. This book's called White Teeth and it's contemporary and it's got some families in it, and I don't really know what it's about, but I'm gonna find out by reading it. It's meant to be really good. I've got 12 books left, so I think this video might end up being really long. I have not edited it yet, but we'll see. I think we'll just call this last group of 12 books miscellaneous, because I don't have enough of certain genres to create different categories evenly. So here you are, 12 books, talking about them. This is A Fault in Our Stars. Whenever I need a manic pixie dream boy like August in my life, I will read this. This is Velocity. It's a dark thriller which questions morality and so on. I don't know how to explain it without spoiling it, because I think the blurb's quite a bit of a spoiler, and I love spoilers, but lots of people don't, so I don't want to spoil anything. It sounds really interesting though. This is called The Left Hand of God, and a morally grey main character is the only one that can save the world. I love this trope. This is Among Thieves. It's got the kind of similar vibes to the previous book, but it's more grimdark than sort of morally grey character in a decent fantasy world. This is Cloud Atlas. It's a highly acclaimed science fiction. The blurb doesn't actually tell me what it's about, but it's meant to be good. And I like science fiction. This is a fantasy story which involves these creatures called switches, which are essentially shapeshifters. And my favourite My Little Pony episode was the one with the dramatic song This Day aria, so this will be a vibe for me. This looks cool. This is Keeper of the Realms, Crow's Revenge. It looks cool. And then I read the start of the blurb. I just had a flesh-eating giant tearing around my house, and now I'm in this strange land I don't know anything about. Girl boss. I think the character's a guy, but anyway, girl boss. Yeah, no, actually the flesh-eating giant could be the girl boss. Anyways, it sounds cool and fun. Okay, this one's fun. I tried to convince my sister to get it, but then she was like, and I was like, okay, if you don't get it, I'll get it, and I'll make a reading vlog for it. This is an unofficial Minecraft fan adventure. Book 1, Quest for Justice. It's fully official, published, has cool art, is a full-on thick, chunky fantasy book, and it's Minecraft. So I thought this would be such a fun reading vlog video. So when I get around to reading this, I will hopefully remember to vlog it and tell you guys all about the experience. I had a bit of an oops moment, okay? I think this one accidentally fell into my box because I don't remember picking it up. So I will be giving this back to a charity shop. Fortunately, it amounted to like 50p basically, so it's not lots of my money wasted, and someone from a charity shop will be able to get this. It's a historical book about the Romans fighting some non-Romans. This book's called The Iron Witch. The main character has magically enhanced strength through these iron tattoos that she's got everywhere, and it also is essentially set in fairyland, so sounds cool to me. Last, but definitely not least, Black Leopard Red Wolf. This is a high fantasy novel set in ancient Africa. No, it's like a fantasy world inspired by it. I don't know, I'm judging this based on Neil Gaiman's review at the top of the blurb here. So the main character has a bunch of unique companions, a giant, a witch, and a shape-shifting leopard, which sounds really cool. And yeah, they're tracking someone down, and yeah, morally greyness and conflict ensues. Anyways, those were the books that I got today. I will get around to reading them eventually. I'll read them, it will be fine. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll hopefully see you again for another video soon. Bye!